Hello, hello, you guys, and welcome to another story time brought to you by ABC Read and ABC Learn, in which I am here to help you develop and nurture that love of reading in every child as well as every adult, with our particular focus on our Black children, Black adults, Black families here in America and across the globe. Welcome. Thank you all for joining me today, or for you, it might be nighttime, early in the morning, real late at night, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. I hope that you all are doing absolutely wonderful. And I hope that you all have read, or your plan is to read for at least 30 minutes. All right, and that's going to be my short message for you all. Just make sure you are getting your reading in. For a lot of kids across America, they have started school. All right, and it's still sad that when I ask, the students, in particular my students that I tutor, and I'll say, have your teachers been reading to you all? And they're like, no, we haven't been read to yet. I'm like, really? Now they've done all of these studies. They had this national reading panel that they had back in what was that? I think it was the 80s, I believe, where they found that reading aloud is one of the single most important factors of helping kids get into reading. And you still have a lot of schools who do not promote reading aloud. They think you have teachers who believe that that's just something that you just do for the little kids. And it's like, no. You are sadly mistaken. Actually, studies have shown that as the kids get older, you have to continue to read aloud to them, because that's when the kids really start draping off when it comes to even reading on their own. When they start hitting that fifth grade mark, sixth grade, a lot of kids, they're not trying to read. So at least, the very least, what we can do is make sure that the teachers are mandated to read aloud to those kids at least for 30 minutes. All right. And you, as parents, make sure that you are empowering your children, and make sure you just stay empowered yourselves. And you ask these teachers, are you reading aloud to the kids? When do you all have read alouds? You have to do that. All right. Remember, this is their education, and we got to empower them. So, with that being said, I'm back with our book again, Stealing the Game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the author. Raymond Opsfeld is the author as well. So it was co-authored, meaning that they wrote it together. And for those of you who are not familiar with what is going on, I advise you to please go back to chapter 1 so you can find out what's up. All right, we got our characters in here though. You're going to hear names like Chris and Jax. They are brothers. Okay. And it's some issues going on. Jax, from the last chapter that I read, he came home, he had some alcohol smell in his breath, getting smart with his parents. Chris had just met his soon to be math and science tutor. All right, his parents are both lawyers, so we know that about them. But in terms of more details in the story, you guys really need to go back and catch up, because this book is on fire. All right, so now we're on the chapter that is entitled The Favor. The favor, y'all. It's just a little favor, Chris, Jack said. A favor for your beloved older brother? Is that asking so much? I didn't say anything. I was sitting at my desk trying to answer Mr. Lawbaugh's study questions for The Catcher in the Rye. Of what significance is it to Holden that Jane keeps her kings in the back row during checkers? I'd wondered the same thing. Holden keeps talking about this girl he knew who never moved her kings from the back row when she played checkers because she thought they looked good there. Why wouldn't she just use them to beat the other player? It's like stealing the ball, dribbling the full length of the court with no one around, then not taking the shot until the other team gets down court. Was she just crazy? Come on, bro, Jax persisted. He was lying on my bed, spinning a basketball on his fingertips. You love playing basketball, and I owe this guy a favor. What's the big deal? I have homework, Jax. Can we discuss this later? Nope. He's expecting my call. He sat up without disturbing the ball spin. He slapped it a couple of times on the side and it spun faster. I sort of promised him. Not my problem, I said. He chuckled. Oh, tough guy, huh? He let the ball drop onto his lap and beat it like a drum. Listen, man, I just need you to do this one thing. I think we agree that I've done plenty of favors for you. Don't make me embarrass you by listing them. It was true. He never turned down doing a favor for me. He owed his life to me, after all. But I'd never held that over his head, and I wouldn't have turned down old Jax. But this new Jax worried me. He was mysterious and secretive. Why is it so important? I asked. Is this the same guy I saw you giving money to? Jax looked surprised, then embarrassed. I owed him some money, no big deal. Why did you owe him money? Jax reached over and picked up my copy of The Catcher in the Rye. Aren't you too young for this? It has dirty words and mature themes. I grabbed the book out of his hands. It's advanced English. We had to get parental approval. That's what we're all trying to get around here, isn't it? Parental approval? Wow, I said. That's so deep. No wonder you went to Stanford. Must be where you learned to avoid answering my questions. He sighed and said in a soft voice, Must be. He bent over the basketball, his forehead touching it like it was cooling his face. You never used to be so evasive, Jax. I could always count on you for the truth. What the heck happened at Stanford to change you? Jax didn't look at me for a while. He just rolled his head side to side across the ball. Then he sat up straight and looked at me with a sad expression. I made a bet with the guy and I lost. I don't have enough to pay him. And he's not the kind of guy who just says, pay me whenever. What does that mean? He'll break your arm or something? I joked. He shrugged. Or something. No joke. I felt the blood drain from my face. Jeez, Jax? He saw my face and laughed. I'm kidding, Chris. Nothing will happen, except you'll add interest to my debt, which I'd like to avoid. I'm kind of on a tight budget right now until I figure out what to do next. Since when do you gamble? I asked. I don't usually. It was a one-time thing. Anyway, he has this club team he coaches, and they're going to be in a big tournament this weekend. He wants a competitive team for them to practice against. I mentioned you and your buddies. I didn't think he'd take me up on it. Anyway, he said he'd forget the rest of my debt if I got you and your teammates to play them tomorrow at Palisades. Just this once, right? Right. He stood up as if the meeting was over, even though I hadn't actually agreed to anything. He knew I couldn't say no to him, so I didn't say anything. Oh, I almost forgot, he said. He pulled a folded piece of paper out of his back pocket. Mom and Dad had this out on the kitchen table. I think they wanted to ambush you with it in the morning. That's why I'm giving you a heads up. I took the paper and unfolded it. It was a color printed printout about Stanford University. The beautiful campus, the impressive buildings, happy students. Why wouldn't they be happy? They were going to one of the best universities in the world. Their future was certain to be happy. Not one of them held a comic book. With me, at least they waited until I was in high school to start the Stanford push, Jack said. He was smiling, but there was no more humor in his face. He looked kind of angry. Next, it will be pre-SAT classes on the weekends. He started counting on his fingers. Then meetings with the professional counselors who lay out a plan for how to get into Stanford. Social clubs to join, community service organizations, science camps in the summer. He sighed. You get the picture, little man? They're expecting you to wipe away the stain that I caused. Good luck with that. He snorted and walked out of my room. Middle school had just gotten a whole lot more complicated. Dang. The end. What I tell you? What did I tell you? And for my parents out there, I'm just letting you know, I'm just saying, I recommend, even if you just read a chapter or read a paragraph of a book, especially like this one. All right, keeps you on your seat, keeps you wondering what's going on. I'm telling you, this is a great way to get your child into reading. All right, y'all. So I am done this reading time for with the end of our chapter still in the game. The book again is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Sorry, I kind of lost my words. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end right now, and I hope that you all make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this video. And remember to please keep reading for at least 30 minutes a day. Happy reading, family. Peace.